Okay, what is that? Computer is moving because on my legs right now. Okay, well, I'm not done with Johnny Depp and Amanda Heard, but stupid phone. But the thing with Marilyn Manson is still just it doesn't. Oh gosh, I don't care. I'm not gonna look at it. Yeah, this is why I'm not a professional YouTuber. This is exactly why, because I don't pay attention to much of things. It's raining. I don't know. It's a perfect day to be on the internet and read stuff and just look stuff up and try to just kind of have like our own opinions and make our own minds on things and not just believe things because you read them on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. Like I said on the title, Instagram is not a police station. Instagram is not a therapist. Instagram is not a doctor. Instagram cannot diagnose people. Instagram is not a police report. So I'm not going to talk too much about even Rachel Wood because with her it's a little bit different. She did went kind of further with it and to the point of making our own law called the Phoenix Act, which Governor Gavin Newsom of California signed, and the law is actually good and it makes sense for women and men that got their heart being abused. So I'm glad she did that. That doesn't make her a good person and doesn't make her not a liar. So you can be doing really good things and you can be doing really bad things too at the same time. A lot of these girls, the accusers from the Instagram police station, have no idea what they're doing, and they don't see is that they're just messing with somebody's mental health, physical health, and who knows. And to the people that said that, well, what do you care? Marilyn Manson has all this money. Even if he gets canceled, he can probably retire for the rest of his life in the Bahamas. I said that's dumb to think like that. It doesn't matter he has money. He should not be thrown through the mud like this, just like Johnny Depp with hurt him the same situation. Just because somebody has money, because somebody has a career, somebody has a place in the world, fame, whatever it is, they still need to work and they still like to work. And Manson is a painter, is a singer, is a songwriter. Any of those people, no matter whether you like him or not, they cannot just sit around and do nothing. This is what he does. He does Manson, does his job. So just canceling somebody without an FBI investigation, without doctor reports, I have not seen nothing like that. I have not heard anything like that. Esme Bianco is on Instagram saying that she has post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, panic attacks, and OCD. I don't know. She's saying that. People diagnose themselves all the time on YouTube, on everywhere, on Twitter. Everybody's a narcissist. Everybody has trauma. Everybody has panic attacks. And those terms are just thrown there so loosely, and it's dangerous to believe everything you read or everything you see. I might be lying too. Don't know. I don't think I am. I do believe. I I believe he's innocent. Though, if there's a couple things that he did that they were kind of shady and that might just come to light, and for those things he should be prosecuted, I don't know. Maybe there are a couple things, but it's not this. It's not the stuff these girls are talking about and accusing him on Instagram. I can't believe that. If you tell me, like, you told me 20 years ago that there was going to be this social media page that people were going to go and accuse people of torture and rape and human trafficking, I'll be like, you high, you're crazy. And here it is. So it is. It does exist, and it's called Instagram. And it doesn't make you a victim because you think you're a victim. It doesn't make you honest just because you have a camera and you put in little glitter filters on yourself, and you do it right before your next movie comes out, or you do it right before when your TV show is going to shit. You're doing right before when your career is kind of standby. what is not organic. The way this happened is not organic. It all popped out in a week from February 1st around Valentine's Day. It was over. It was like 2 weeks of all these women just popping. Not Rachel Wood and Esme Bianco because they were doing this for years, but all the other ones just popping one after the other. I'm not the only person that believes that this whole thing is a roll up. It's a plan. It's a plan. Why? Why they want to get him down? I don't know. It could be revenge. It could be because they were just not happy with him. It could be because he cheated on them. It's because maybe he drove them crazy with his addictions. Maybe he ghosted them. Maybe he didn't care. Maybe they just want to do this because you get more attention as a victim these days than as a villain. Maybe any day in any decade, but especially now, after all the movements and the Me Too movements and all this stuff, you get plenty of attention as a victim. So I think that's the problem there. That's what's going on. That men and women and children should be getting the same attention as any of these girls, and I don't know if they are because they're nobodies and we're nobodies, and these people are models of Instagram, personalities, models, makeup artist assistants, actresses, all the stuff. I'm telling you something. If I get on Instagram right now and I start posting, oh my God, you guys won't believe what happened to me. And I just do a whole thing with my camera and I'm like, and I just cry, and do a whole thing. And I say that my ex-boyfriend abused me. You know what's going to happen? First of all, I'm probably going to get shut down for just talking about stuff like that. Or my friends, few family members, a few friends are going to call me and be like, let's go to the police station. Girl, what you doing? Put the phone down. Get off Instagram. Okay. Like that's reality. You just don't sit around with all this evidence that you said that you have on your lap, but you have your phone and your glittery filter and you're destroying somebody's life. I don't care that he has money. I don't care if I like him musically or not. I think he's a good painter. Actually, I like his paintings more than I like his music. I don't care if he's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Okay. So I'm just going to read something from this girl, Gabriela. I keep saying Gabriela. He was one of the first one that come out. Not the first one. She was probably the third one that came out. And the reason I'm just going to read her stuff is because it's kind of what I'm saying. Like, people jump to a conclusion because she is young and she seems fragile and, oh my God, take care of me, believe me. And it's not everything's what is. No, just don't. I don't believe it. Do whatever you want. I don't believe it. So Gabriela met him when she says that she was 22. She has the longest Instagram statement ever, and she popped right after Esme Bianco popped. So I feel like they were all, on a Zoom conference or on Skype, if anybody uses Skype anymore, and they were just doing this, all of them at the same time. Not Rachel Wood, but the rest of them. It feels like they did. It feels like it was a script, writing. Written by one person and just give it away to all these women. It's like, okay, you read it this day, you read it this day. It's too similar and it's not. I don't believe it. So I'm just gonna look at Gabriela. Okay, and then we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to Esme Bianco because she is like probably the most hypocrite, ridiculous of all of them. In Esme Bianco was a fetish bondage performer. So there's a lot of things I find it hard to believe that she says the stuff that happened did happen to her. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. So Gabriela, God, I just can't find Gabriela statement. Oh, another thing is like, for people that say, well, you're grabbing evidence from Instagram and you're talking shit. Well, these girls are choosing Instagram as their medium for our method of complaining accusing, whatever. So if they're doing it, then it's fair game for us to use Instagram. So you know what I mean? I mean, it's like it's for game. So this is Gabriela. Okay, she has like pink hair. She's quite beautiful. She says she met him. I keep saying Gabrielle. If anybody knows it's Gabriela, Gabrielle, please let me know. I am just. It sounds. They both sound good, but she looks more like a Gabriela to me. So I'm gonna say Gabriela. Just they're both cute names anyway. She says she met Brian Warner, known as Marilyn Manson, when she backstage in October 2015. She was 22 and he was 46. So I'm reading it. Actually, I should read it in her voice. It was 42 and he was 46. The first thing that he ever said to me was that he was going to bite me. He was going to bite me. That's the first thing he said to her. This is what she says. Okay. It's just the thing with him. Like, I feel like it's really easy. He's an easy scapegoat, an easy target, just like Johnny Depp was and is, because of their past, because their long alcohol or drug addictions, because of their lifestyle, because they're wild. Johnny's a wild child and Manson is wild, so they're very easy to target. These guys, and they just happen to be men, so that's what I'm talking about. Men being abused, or men being targeted, or men being canceled. It really seems like it's a thing that people do in these days. I think the next one we're going to see is Brad Pitt accused of domestic violence by Angelina Jolie. And I'm going to laugh because, I mean, anyway. So I don't know the context of that quote, I want to bite you. She said that's one of the first things he said to her. Okay. And it goes to say more things about that, how the thing he was going to do to her. And she was on Instagram having a picture, posting a picture of herself with a t-shirt that said Marilyn Manson is my daddy. So he complimented her on that. He's going to bite her. That somehow, like, she had no idea what he will do. And then she knew who he was, but she didn't know how big he was. How can you not? No. So after the show, he invited me on his tour bus. He immediately love bombed me. Love bombing. This is something that people use way too much and they don't even know, but okay. He immediately love bombed me. Like, he was so magnetic, so charismatic, and she fell for it. And he took advantage of that, I guess. But yeah, she was 22, not a minor. Yeah, young, very young, and should not be in a tour bus with a 46-year-old man. I give her that, but she did. She was in the bus with him. She's 22. Which he should be like not looking and partying with girls at 22 years old? Probably he shouldn't. Probably that's shady of him to do, but again, that's not illegal. It might be shady, but it's not illegal. He felt like he knew me for years. He felt like we were meant to be, and he said that we were soulmates. This is a terminology here that at least 4 of these girls are using over and over. And maybe this is the way Manson is. Okay, he's so emotional and dramatic. So maybe he's like, oh, you're the love of my life. Let's make a blood pact and let this natural born killers type of thing. And, we're meant forever. And because he's intense like that, maybe he did say that. Maybe he did. It's still, that's not illegal. That's stupid. It's not illegal. We're soulmates. She's saying that he said this 2 weeks after meeting her in a tour bus. The whole tour bus thing seems like something out of the 90s or something. And it becomes fairly common for people to accuse other people to be too much into them. Like, is that a problem that he say those things to you? It's not. It's more. It's a compliment. Why is it a problem? It became a problem because then you got mad at the guy because he either ghosted you or something, and then you turn into a problem. You manipulating things like it's Play-Doh, I think they manipulate things that are actually real, that did happen, and things that he did, manipulate them into something horrific and dark or darker and illegal and criminal, which is actually just him having a lifestyle on these girls, taking advantage in a way of his fame and his money and his connections, probably. Because like half of these girls are people that if they were not on a Manson scandal, you would not know who they are. Amy Rocha Wood, super big actress, super successful. Esme Bianco, really good character in Game of Thrones. I love that show and I like her character, but that's it. Nothing else. Her career since 2019 has been going to shit, so I'm not surprised that she's doing this. The rest of the girls, I don't even know them. Instagram models, publicists, makeup artists. It seems like you will get, if you don't get money, you don't get a paycheck for being a victim, but you get connections. You get to be on TV talking. I won't be surprised if even Rachel Wood goes to Oprah anytime soon. It's just done with Oprah and just they and cries and does the whole thing. My point being that if you look at all these, it is almost like I'm saying, they were written by the same person. I'm not saying that person is Evan Rocha Wood. I'm not saying that, but I'm kind of saying that there's these catchy words that they all use in all the statements. There's a few words: grooming, love bombing, gaslighting me, sleep deprivation, food deprivation. I was isolated from my family. There's all these girls are saying the same thing. I just find that kind of hard to believe in. No, I'm not the only one who finds it hard to believe, thankfully. So he offered me cocaine. So she's saying he offered me cocaine. He told me to take off all my clothes and take a shower in front of him. He asked for my number as I was getting ready to leave and invite me to the show the following evening. So now, so far, she really has described a night, a kind of wild night with this wild weirdo rock star. Or him saying, "I want to bite you." Yeah, she could have said, "Oh, dude, whatever." She could have said, "Oh my God, really? That's cool." Anyhow, this is not a crime. It might be gross for some people, but it's not a crime. He said that he felt that he knew me for years. I don't think that's love bombing. I think saying that to somebody is kind of gonna be on the other side of the spectrum and see as maybe it's kind of cool and complimentary. He offered me cocaine. Okay, I'm gonna go on the cocaine thing right now. Cocaine, because they all talk about cocaine. Cocaine is a drug that cannot be forced into you. So you have, rohypnols. Back in the day, they were called roofies. I'm old, so I know. And they were called, in slang up on the street, they were called the rape pill. So rohypnols or roofies were something that has a hypnotic effect. People would just put something on your drink. Actually happened to me, but nothing physical happened to me because I was lucky to pass out in a women's bathroom. So I was protected. But I was drinking Red Bull. I don't drink alcohol, so I was drinking my Red Bull at the Rainbow Room, which is on Sunset Boulevard in LA. And I was drinking Red Bull with my husband at the time. Somehow I'm drinking the Red Bull. I start feeling really strange, very dizzy. My mouth is all dry. I go to the bathroom to kind of look at myself, and I'm all pale. And I think, and then somehow there's like an hour that I lost that time. I don't know what happened in that hour. Finally, my husband finds me in the women's bathroom, asks me what happened. I'm like, I don't know. He goes, yeah, right. I'm like, I really don't know what happened. Nothing bad happened to me physically. I was not attacked. I was not violated. I was just pissed off because I lost an hour of time that I don't know what happened to me. So I think what happened to me, which was really prominent 15 years ago in California, any state and every big city where there's a club, that people will put something on your drink. Back in the day was rohypnol roofies, like I'm saying. That I believe. I believe somebody can put something on this girl's drink. I believe that maybe she was injected with something. Not really. I believe that he gave them something. And he was like, here's ecstasy. And it wasn't. It was something completely different. Okay. But one thing I don't believe is that these chicks were forced into doing cocaine. Cocaine is a drug that is very, you have to do it, right? You've seen the movies, you've seen friends of yours doing it, family members. I have seen my family doing it. And you have to cut it and you have to stare at it and you have to do it and you have to do the whole thing, like in the movie Pulp Fiction. You have to do cocaine. Cocaine cannot be forced down your nose. I mean, I don't believe it. That's the one thing that, first of all, what's the proof of that? I mean, did you went to the emergency room on an overdose of cocaine? Did you took pictures of your nose bleeding because you're doing too much cocaine? Did you made an audio like Amanda Heard and Johnny Depp were making audios, recordings of each other? Did you made an audio recording on you and Manson on cocaine and being crazy? No, you had not. I haven't seen it yet. So that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen it yet. Cocaine cannot be force fed on people. I don't think so. So he loves cocaine. He likes to stay up at night. Okay. He likes to have his room cold. He has an obsession with Elvis Presley, and Elvis was the same way. His house was always cold. And Manson wears a lot of black. He does drugs, or he used to do a lot of drugs. He sweats a lot, probably. He likes his house to be cold. Likes to be cold, likes to stay up at night, likes to do cocaine. That makes him maybe a shitty host, or a really good one. It depends what type of thing you're up to. But does not make him a rapist or a human trafficking people. So you get all this coke from this guy, this rockstar guy. You get to be, well, the coke makes you not sleep, and you kind of losing your appetite because you may be doing coke and smoking cigarettes, and you don't want to eat a lot, but you have to put it. You have to blame somebody for it, even if you've been skinny your whole life. Because these girls, if you look at them, before and after Manson and this stuff that happens to them, they look the same. So when they're talking about food deprivation, if you're an actress or a model in Hollywood, you are at least, let's say this Gabriela girl is about 5'1". She's tiny and she's probably 100 pounds. She was like that before she met him, and she stayed like that after. Being skinny, and it doesn't mean that he was stopping you from eating. These girls were skinny, period. Amy Roger Wood has always been skinny. Esme Bianco from Game of Thrones, always been skinny, really, really pretty, beautiful. But I don't think that he sleep deprived them, and I don't think he food deprived them. These girls might be depriving themselves from eating for a whole decade. Some people are just naturally skinny. Some people starve. Some people have eating disorders. My point is that I don't think he did all this stuff. I think that he was just being himself. Maybe he's a shitty host, like I said. He invites you over and then he passes out. And then you're like stuck in there in a cold apartment, with black walls, and maybe like, oh man. And maybe that's it. That's, if you don't like cocaine, then I guess you're stuck. You can call an Uber and leave, unless you're tied up, which is what I go to that in a minute. Taking a shower in front of him. He didn't. She said he didn't force me. She said he offered me cocaine. See, that's the word, offered. Ed at the end. So somebody offered you something and you accept it. I don't think he put a gun to her head. She said I do not have fond memories of this tour, though as things have gone downhill quickly, will tie me up first many times and rape me. I sobbed on the floor in the hotel room. This part is really interesting. I sobbed on the floor in the hotel room, and when I looked at him, he was smiling, and he told me that I love. That's how he knew that I love him, because of my reaction. He took naked pictures of me without my permission while I was sleeping and tied and sent them to his friends. Okay, now, aside from the fact that we don't know without evidence about these pictures, no recordings, no went to a nurse, doctors, nothing, no documents. I have to believe at face value what she's saying, and it's a big thing to believe at face value. Accusing somebody of being rape you and torture you is not something that I don't want to just believe it at face value. So that's why I do my own research, and I look at YouTube, and I look at other people's YouTubes, and I look at the history of these girls and their mental health and the mental state that they have been, because they existed before Marilyn Manson. And I look on their Instagrams, and I look at some of their careers, and these girls are not um, they're not better than him. They're not. They all have their own kinks, and they all have their own little things that they like, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Manson has been blamed for the sleeping and the thing and the deprivation for so long that it's almost like, at this point, if you're gonna say something against him, you should come up with something new. That's not rolling with me anymore. So Gabriela, I got nothing to say about Gabriela anymore, because, well, the whole thing about her saying that she was sobbing on the floor. And even if, let's say it's true that he tied her up, took pictures of her, yeah, that's crappy. Again, it's not a crime. She was the one that went over to. She said she went on the tour bus with the band. So another problem I have with all this: if there was these people around, they were on a tour bus and they were in a hotel. Every time you stop in a city to do a show, you're gonna stay in a hotel. Do you really believe that he was doing all this and making this girl scream out of pain and all this when he had people around? I mean, no, I don't believe it. How stupid he would be to do this when he was on tour with people around, to do this to Gabriela. So that's for Gabriela. And then, well, then there's this person. Oh my God. This is serious. I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm laughing at somebody that got abused or even touched, even slapped, not even sexual abuse, even just touched and pinched. I don't want to see that I'm making fun of people. But I'm not the only person who thinks this is ridiculous. And this next one, I'm done with Gabriela. There's nothing on Gabriela anymore. Nothing. There's no documents. There's nothing from the band, nothing from the hotel people, from the tour people, from a nurse, from her psychiatrist saying, well, this happened to her. She has this diagnosis. She has trauma. Now she has to take medication. It's all Marilyn Manson's fault. There's nothing. Until I see that, it's really hard for me to believe. And this one is hilarious. Her name is Love Bailey. Love Bailey. She has red hair, very dramatic look, very out there, very extra type of chick. And I'm not gonna go on the fact that he or her, she wants to recognize as a woman right now, so I'm gonna say she. Love Bailey. And I'm going to just play with her own voice, because it's way better than if I do it, because it's laughable. So she has another little story, and she popped her story right after, in February 12th, February 13. I'm telling you, like in a couple of weeks, everything just popped out on Instagram. It's the power of Instagram. It's amazing. It's like the next CIA.
Says during this dark time, because of you, I am brave to stand in my truth and to tell my story. And because of all the death threats I've been getting, the photographers reaching out, threatening me, I feel it's a pressing matter that I speak directly to the camera and tell my testimony of what really happened the night I met Marilyn Manson. So that day I was doing a photo shoot with the actress for Love Cat magazine, and Love Cat is now Galore magazine. So
I don't know who the actress is talking about, but it doesn't really matter to know the name of the
So we
actress.
did this photo shoot at Jeffrey Deitch's house, and I was asked to follow to Marilyn Manson's studio, recording studio on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Okay, I want to talk about that because I don't know where that place is exactly, but I know where Santa Monica is in West Hollywood in a part of LA. I don't know why he had that. He could have a bigger, better studio somewhere else, but who knows? That's what he liked. I don't know, a little studio in Santa Monica Boulevard. He said in interviews he talked about this studio before. He talked about the studio above the liquor store, and why he had that, I don't know. Again, and he talked about the um, the bad girls room, and he said this in a very nonchalant kind of, you can agree, you can say he's a pervert, whatever. He already talked about this studio, and I feel like they've been watching his interviews since 2009 to now, especially the ones from 2010 to 2016. That seems like to be all the cases, and they're being squeezing his words and using the things that he talked about before as the studio in Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. He admitted to have this studio up there. So now she's saying, well, I went to his studio.
Where I was supposed to dress for this photo shoot. So I show up to Marilyn's house.
Marilyn. Nobody calls this guy Marilyn. So I think that's kind of weird, but maybe she did.
And I remember 3 rooms. There was his recording studio that had plastered on all the walls, hustler spreads, women scantily clad, plastered on all his walls. There was the living room where we were stationed to put hair and makeup in the glam team. And then there was his bedroom that he had in his recording studio. So as we were unpacking all the couture and the glam for the photo shoot, I noticed there was all these dark.
This part is amazing. Not only she is a makeup artist, a hair designer, Love Bailey is all these things, and also she's an Instagram accuser, professional. But also she's an art critic right now because she's going to criticize his paintings in a moment. Just watch.
Paintings on the ground. All these demonic paintings that were done out of charcoal, like scribbled aggressively, and they were all sort of scattered and accumulating into the corner of the room where it looked like he was trying to open a portal. There was like this big circle of charcoal that.
Okay, he was trying to open a portal. The guy is a painter. Like, if you don't know the Marilyn Manson's paints, I don't know where you've been. He's been painting for the last 15 years or so. So this chick is saying there was all these paintings, charcoal, and they were all scratched and seemed that they were in a frenzy. On one corner of okay, who's paying for this? Is his house? Yes. So there's his paintings on the floor in his house. So what's the problem with that? What is the problem? And then before that, she said that there were pictures on the walls of girls, calendar, naked girls and stuff like that, Playboy, Hustler. So what is the problem with that? He is a dude, pictures on the walls of chicks. What is the problem? He is a painter. He's an artist, and he's an artist for sure. He likes painting. And you don't like his type of painting? Well, just don't look at it. I don't know. But for her to say that it looked demonic, how do you know it looked demonic? Like, how did you... This girl drives me crazy. I mean, how did she... Oh, by the way, she was there working. If it was, the energy was so bad and she felt like she was in so much trouble, like demons were gonna just like pop out of the chandeliers, you would think she would have left, or she would say, you know what, I gotta go. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and do this job. I have a headache, and take off. She did not. She stayed there because the paycheck was good for her to stay there. I do believe the paintings were there. I believe the pictures of naked girls were probably in his wall. But see what I mean? They just get the truth of something that we believe that is truth, and just turn it, manipulate it into this disgusting demonic stuff. Paintings on the floor. He paid for the house, he paid for the paintings, he paid for that floor. He can throw whatever he wants on the floor. Eggs, bacon, paintings, underwear, right? I mean, I know. I got a demonic paintings, and then she's saying that demonic paintings trying to open a portal, naked pictures.
Well, it looked like he was trying to open a portal with some demonic presence. That I used to love Marilyn Manson.
Demonic presence. Demonic presence. The guy was like giving her a job as a stylist and a hair person, a makeup artist, all that. If he was doing some demonic shit, what if he would have all these people over? Like, really, why? Just like, why?
Put the couture together and just do my job. I was 20 years old. I was a young, naive stylist, just trying to make a name for myself. And here I am in the presence of what I thought were my heroes, Marilyn Manson. I looked up to his music until that instance.
So she just said it right there. She gave herself away. I was only 20. I was trying to make a name for myself. I was in the presence of my heroes. She's giving herself away right there. She's giving herself away right there. That's why she didn't leave. She saw somebody was opening a portal to Satan, and she stayed because she was trying to make a name for herself, because she was only 20 and she was new in LA. If that's really what she's saying, that's just disturbing. That's shame on her for not leaving or not saying something, just staying for the paycheck. She admits right there that she stayed for the paycheck. And she stayed this whole time quiet also. I don't know.
So I'm just doing my job. I get called in to go into Marilyn's boudoir. And as I'm walking into his boudoir, to the left side,
boudoir is a bedroom.
There was a glass cage where it looked like that he held his victims, where he held women against their will. There was a lock on it.
Okay. The glass cage. You know what also has glass? The little room with glass. A recording studio has glass, because you see them behind the scenes. You see your favorite pop artists or rock stars or whatever, when they make music videos, they do behind the scenes, or they're making off the video, they're making off the album. What do you see? You see them with their headphones singing in a glass room, in a room with at least some glass, because you have to see the producer has to look at them. There's always glass in recording studios. She's saying it was a glass room. She said a cage with a lock in it. I don't think there was. I think there was a glass room, and it probably kind of looked kind of claustrophobic if you're not recording in there, and if you're kind of like, oh my god. But I don't think it was a cage. I mean, this person is like, and none of them are gonna be held accountable for what they're saying either. Like, where's the proof of what she's saying? That she took a picture? That she had anybody else that was there with her that day has any testimony? No, they have not saying anything. And she said that she was there with a whole team of people, models, makeup artists, hairdresser, probably a driver or two. Where are these people? Like, just validating what she's saying. No, they're not. They're just.
I crawl over the sex-stained sheets that and Marilyn had just finished.
There was sex in stained sheets again. Okay, so what she's trying to say is that she walked in his bedroom, and it seems like he was finished with whatever sex act he was doing, and the sheets have stains in it. Again, gross, whatever. Just like the paintings on the floor. His bed, his room, his bed, his sheets.
Finished up whatever they were doing, and I looked over to and she was black out, wasted. And I don't know if this was from pills. She was not coherent at all. She was stumbling over. She hurt her knee.
So she was not passed out. She was stumbling over and hurt her knee. So she was not blacked out. So this chick needs to get her story straight. So this girl was still alive and not asleep. She was just passed out, not passed out, just wasted. Again, is that something that it can put you in jail unless the person is a minor? No. It is not. It goes well with everything that we know about him and all the stuff that she's describing. There's pictures of naked girls in on the walls. There's booze. There's coke. There's all these drugs, and there's a naked girl on the bed, and sheets with smelly, ugly stuff in his bed in his house. Again, I don't think that he would be doing all this rape and all this torture with people, knowing people are coming over, and there's a whole team of people working there on his house for this music video. Not only that, but again, even if the girl was there, even if the girl was wasted, even if the sheet looks stained from sex, what is the issue with that? It is gross. Yes, like come on, like he should not be doing that. Before, it's unprofessional of him doing that, whatever, but it's not illegal.
On the bedside table, and Marilyn laughed at her and just let her crawl on the floor. And so I ran over to help, and as I'm, holding and trying to get her balance with her, Marilyn pulls a gun to my head, a big Glock, a metal Glock, not a toy gun. This was a real gun. And he pulls a Glock straight to my forehead and says, "I don't like faggots," as he laughs in this really dark, aggressive tone. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't a humorous behavior or something to take lightly. And I remember being stunned.
I'm not going to repeat the F word. That is the term that people use to make gay people feel horrible. So I'm not going to repeat it, the F word. So he was doing the sex acts in this stained sheets, and his bed was full of stains of sex things. And this girl was wasted. So Love Bailey, this chick, went to help the wasted girl, and Manson laughed and put a gun to her head. I think maybe Manson laughed. I don't think Manson put a gun to her head. See how like these things are things that like sound like something that he will do, or a situation that he will be in, but then they're just add all this horrible, illegal aspect to it, and rapists and torture and all that. And maybe he, like I'm saying, maybe he's just a bad host. Maybe he should not have people over when he's doing, wild stuff like this. But a gun to your head and say, I don't want to say the word, but it's a word that I don't even think he's not a homophobic. I mean, he has he had bisexual encounters before. You see him on back in the day, in the 90s, in the shows he was doing, and he was doing it just to piss people off, but also he was like kissing his bass player, pretending to have sex with his guitar player too back in the day. Like this guy is not afraid of sexuality. So I don't think he's a homophobic, and I don't think he said I don't like the word. So first of all, this is the person who I believe the least, probably, and just because she started the testimony. I love how everybody calls it testimony. Her Instagram video, she started her Instagram video talking about how demonic the paintings were and how they were scattered on the floor. So the moment that she said that, I kind of lost all credibility for this lady.
I felt powerless.
That you called me.
It's so dramatic. Wait, hold on.
And you couldn't believe that you had a gun pulled to your head, and I couldn't believe it either. I'd almost kind of like, what? Yeah, I remember that. You were like in like shock.
And I finally am brave enough to come out about this after all these years because of Evan's testimony. But
there is no tears on this. Just go look it up. Her name is Love Bailey. She has red hair, like super bright red. She's a model, actress, all that stuff. There's no tears. It's all about. There's no tears. I mean, if something like that happened, I mean, I don't know. Like I won't be if I'm talking about it. I'll be freaking out. Again, testimony on Instagram. We just call it a live video. If you go to Instagram and say my girlfriend is slapping me around, my boyfriend is beating me up, my girlfriend just gave me a black eye, it will not be testimony. It will just be you saying weird shit on Instagram. It's not a testimony. So Love Bailey, I think she's a liar, and I don't think that she understands that a little video like that, of 7 minutes video, can be listened and watched by a lot of girls and or guys, and everybody can jump into this train and hate him and use him as a space goat for their own agenda to get connections, to have it's the mentality, it's the victim mentality. This is a real thing. It's not fake. And this has happened before. Thinking about Amber, Amanda Heard, and Amanda Turds, Amanda Pants, and Johnny Depp. And my God, this happened also with Ozzy Osbourne back in the 80s. And this has happened before with Mick Jagger when the Rolling Stones made us on Sympathy for the Devil. This stuff has happened all the time. We didn't have cancel culture before. I think people were less gullible. Like if you like Ozzy, will you go to see Ozzy? Even if people say crap about Ozzy Osbourne, you still go. Now it's kind of shady how things work because people believe everything they see on Instagram or Twitter. And again, it's it's a live video, it's a post. You made the time to pick a filter for it. You're recording it. Maybe a police station was not glamorous enough for her. That's what she did on Instagram. I don't know, but these things need to. I mean, these people, they're not gonna stop. They are on a train. Um, Next one I'm gonna talk about is about Gina Jamison, which the adult actress that she was involved with Howard Stern back in the day in the 90s. And now that everybody's popping up, oh man, everybody's getting on the train, rape, torture, human trafficking, Manson thing. Now she's saying this. Gina Jamison, okay, yeah, that one. She's saying that, I just can play her voice. I'm just going to say what she's saying. She met a musician in 1997. 97. And now she's being open about the fantasies and the stuff that he was trying to say to her. Like he wanted, again, with the biting. He was going to bite her and this, and that. There's another thing in common. They talk about the sleep deprivation, the food deprivation, the isolation from their families and friends. They talk about biting and cutting. There's at least 3 girls that talk about Manson cutting them during sex. I want to say this is like something you will not do, something I wouldn't do, not my cup of tea. Is it really illegal? No, it's not. So now she has been okay. First of all, she met him in 1997, and she's talking about it now because of all this. Is the witch hunt that has come. So she reveals. She says, "I cut it off out of my life after he will nonchalantly say he fantasized about biting me and eating me alive. Once he starts speaking to me in a violent way, the actress also described him as vampiric." Vampiric. Gina Jamison went on to explain exactly what she meant, but she called him vampiric, if you know what I mean, quote unquote. No, I don't. He bites you. He likes to bite people. That's the part that is vampiric, or is the part that he likes to stay up all night because he does a lot of cocaine. He used to do a lot of cocaine. What part is vampiric? He bites you, he drew blood from you, he ate your flesh. I don't know why there is no medical records of this. If he really bit you, he'd really hurt you to the point that she said vampiric. I don't think she's referring to him being up at night. I think she's referring to something else, and it's dark, and it's something that I won't do, and I wanna like my children do that, and I wanna like my best girlfriend doing involved in something like that. But again, it is not illegal and it's not a crime to have crazy fantasies, It's like everybody else. He just happens to be famous. But she said she cut him out of her life in 1997. Was unhappily married and acting in adult movies. So she kind of like fell for him because her marriage was going to shit, and she fell for Manson. She denied the affair back then because she didn't want to be associated with somebody who was calling themselves Antichrist. This is when Antichrist Superstar, his album came out. So she didn't want to be associated with him. Oh, mind you, she's a porn star. So I don't know why she thought she was better than Manson saying the Antichrist word. So anyway, but she confirmed on Howard Stern radio show. Okay, but she said, I'm not the type who's going to kiss and tell. And I think Howard left it at that. He did not think it was Manson. I didn't think it was Manson when I watched that interview back in the day of her in the 90s. I didn't think, I heard her saying something about some ex-boyfriend that wanted to bite her neck. That's it. But now she's saying that it's Manson. You do the math. 97 to 2021. Crazy, huh? I'm going to go and make myself some tea. It's raining a lot, and it's pretty cool. I love the rain, and there's gonna be some thunderstorms tonight, so I might just stay here and just talk to myself this whole time. Oh, there's 2 people watching. Are you? Well, if y'all don't say something on the chat, I'm not gonna know. For real. Might just be, maybe just like the spirit of Marilyn Manson right there, ready to bite me on the neck. Vampiric, I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. This is what I was gonna do to end this whole, like, when they talk about the stuff about being sleep deprived, food deprived. Again, these girls are actresses. They supposed to stay skinny. It's not a good culture, but I know it's the way it works in Hollywood. These girls were skinny before Manson. Even Rachel Wood has been skinny her whole life, so she was not sleep deprived from them. Maybe she was depriving herself from food and from sleep for other reasons, because of the cocaine, and because maybe she was on a diet. She's always been skinny. Esme Bianco from Game of Thrones, always been skinny. Beautiful. She's gorgeous, always been skinny. This whole thing about him not letting them eat is hard to believe. To me, it's hard to believe. Then my next video, I'm just going to talk about Alice Cooper, which I love this guy, and his response about 2 Marilyn Manson allegations. And then I'm going to talk about the positive stuff, like Dita Von Teese and Alice Cooper and other people. He doesn't have a lot of supporters, and that's the thing. There's a lot of people that don't believe that none of this is true, but I think they are afraid to say something, because then it's like, well, you're supporting the rape culture. You're a hater of women if you say the Manson, you don't think Manson did it. Well, I'm nobody, so who is gonna give a shit about what I'm saying here? I don't think he did it. I think he was a shitty host. I think like letting people in your house when you're doing a lot of coke and having sex, maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe he was clueless. Maybe he was too high or too drunk to make a good decision and not let these people come over when he was doing these things. I think he's a great painter. His music is something I kind of stopped a few years ago, but I don't think it's bad. But I love his paintings, and I don't think he's opening portals to talk to Satan because he's painting on the floor. I don't think that he put a gun to her head. Do I think he might have a gun? Yes, he might have a gun. I don't think that he force-fed cocaine to any of those girls. Do I think that he offered cocaine to them? And it was like, yeah, just like, let's do a little bit. It's going to make you feel better. Yes, I believe that he did that. I believe he offered the cocaine. Did I believe that he was biting people and cutting people and taking pieces of their flesh? No, I don't. Do I believe that he has a little bit of a vampire fetish? Yeah. And there's also a couple of videos. There's a video that he did with Johnny Depp, of all people, because they're best buddies. They call each other brothers and stuff. So there's a video. The song is called Satan. Like Satan, the devil, but the numbers, say, and the number 10, Satan. And Johnny is on this video with Manson, and they're like all over the place. They have white powder on their face, and they're like all these girls, and looks it's like very nightmarish. The song is kind of good, but the video is even better because Johnny is on it. And there's a lot of vampire references. He made a whole album when he was with Evan Richard Wood, and there's a song that is called I wish I was If I Was Your Vampire. And they're kissing, surrounded by blood. In the music video, Evan Richard Wood and Manson are kissing in blood, pretty much. They have blood on themselves, blood on their mouth, and they're kissing. This whole thing might just be too fucked up for you or for the neighbor next door, but if it's a kink. And I'm not gonna slut shame or kink shame people because they just like to do things in the bed that I don't like or that I wouldn't like or that I did in the past and I don't like anymore. That's just straight up what I think. There's nothing illegal about any of this. Would he should be offering coke to people? No, maybe he shouldn't be doing that, but it's his house. He has naked pictures of girls on his walls in his house. He has a glass room with glass, the cage, for recording, and it's pretty much locked because for recording you don't want to have any sound or anything coming in, so it's a locked room with glass. Yes, and there's no problem on that. That he has a gun and put on somebody's head. I don't know about that. Maybe he has a gun. He made songs about guns before. He made songs about cocaine. He made songs about staying up at night. He made a couple songs about vampirism and blood and biting. So why right now all that is a problem? Anyway, I'm just gonna make more tea in a minute. Right, come right back with some positive stuff about Manson and Dita Von Teese and what she said about him through the years, not just now, but in the interviews when she was with Khloe Kardashian, and Dita Von Teese was in a couple interviews with Sharon Osbourne. And every time that she talked about him, yeah, she wasn't like crazy, like, oh my God, we're best friends, but she said that they were different lifestyles. He was doing drugs and she wasn't, and he cheated on her, which just sucks. He's a cheater. That's not cool, man. It's not cute. But she said that everything else didn't happen. That with her, he was never like that. And in her statement, she said, if he was like that when he was with me, I wouldn't marry him. And she has nothing to lose. Dita has a really good career and is so famous and big, and she has nothing to lose. I mean, like, why? She's not going to jump in the victim train if she wasn't a victim. What is messed up is that she put that post on Instagram denying the allegations, saying that he never hurt her, he never raped her, he never abused her, and that they're still friends. And then she doesn't think he's an abuser. She had to take the post down. Why? Why something positive is Instagram wants it to be down, or some people were giving her so much shit and so much hate that she had to take the post down because she wasn't saying something positive about her ex-husband. But this post about guns and sex and all that, that's okay for Instagram. It's messed up. It's really messed up. If one person is able to say all these horrible things about a person, then the next person should be able to say good things about say person. It should be fair game. If we're using Instagram as a police station, that's what my title is, like, Instagram is not a police station. No. So if you got something to report, go to police. If you cannot go to the police because you really are, I've been in situations that I couldn't, then somebody else might be able to go for you, with you or for you, if it's a really, really bad situation. If you're being violated in any way by a man or by a woman, you don't get on your phone and start making videos of what's going on to you or what happened to you 10 years ago or what happened to you a year ago, what happened to you last weekend. There's plenty of resources and videos on YouTube of how to file a restraining order, how to call the cops. There's plenty of resources also explaining what will happen if you lie, and false testimony is a crime. There's plenty of that. around also to learn. And I'm going to make a video maybe tomorrow about domestic violence and about the things that you can do, guys can do, and the girls can do to defend themselves in a legal way, not in a physical way, because it's impossible, in a legal way, and what to do. Even if 10 years pass by, you still can do things against your abuser. But don't go on Instagram or Twitter and start naming people just because you got nothing better to do. That's messed up. And the one thing I don't like about Evan, Rachel Wood, and Esme Bianco, if you look at their videos, their live stories on Instagram, or their stories and everything, everything is about them. There's no link of like, well, I'm gonna sit down in this Instagram live and I'm gonna teach girls and how to defend themselves. Nothing. There is nothing. There's no resources. Everything is about what happened to them. Everything is about Evan. Everything is about Esme and Rachel Wood and what happened to me. What happened to me? What happened to me? I have not seen. Maybe I'm completely bonkers and I've been sleeping under a rock. I don't know. I have not seen a lot of stuff from Evan Rachel Wood and from Esme Bianco trying to help out and teaching people how not to what what to do, how to get a restraining order, how to go to the police, what to say, how to protect yourself. And I'm not talking about learning taekwondo, okay, or how to fight back. I would not say to anybody fight back physically. It's not a good advice. You don't know. You can end up dead if you fight back. But there's a lot of other things, and there's legal resources, and there's things about mental health that people need to just be aware of. None of that is being said by Esme and by Eva Richard Wood. And if you have a big platform like that, I'm nobody, but if you are somebody, have a big platform like that, get on it and give help and give resources to these women, because they seem to believe that men don't get abused, to women or men or whatever, how to deal with this stuff. But you choose not to. You choose to be a victim. You choose to make Instagram videos about what happened to you. It's all about them. It's not about helping anybody else. And that's kind of why I have a problem with it. And also when Amber Heard was talking about her bruises and her scratches and everything, and she was not really talking about anybody else but herself. And that's kind of stuff. I'm gonna go make some tea, and thank you for watching and all that, and I'll be back in a little bit.